Alabama, a playground for deceased children. If you want your blood to instantly run cold, the sound of disembodied children's laughter will surely do it for you. This is why a small playground connected to the Maple Hill Cemetery outside of Huntsville. The playground exists to give bored children something to do while older relatives visit the plots of their deceased loved ones, but the living children aren't the only ones said to visit the little park. Some believe the spirits of dead children play on the equipment at least as often as the visitors. Many claim to have seen the swings moving on their own, the telltale orbs of spectral inhabitants, or even the apparitions of the child ghosts themselves. Local lore gives two backstories: either the children buried in the cemetery haunt these grounds, or, the eerier of the two, the bodies of children abducted in the 60s were buried where the playground now sits, and their restless spirits entertain themselves how any child at such a location would. Alaska. Screams of women and children lure fishermen to their deaths. In Alaska, it's not the tale of spectral beings that sends chills up the local spines. This myth has a corporeal monster at its core. There are creatures known as the Kushtaka inhabiting the Alaskan waters. These beings are said to be shape-shifting creatures that turn into otters and mimic the sounds of women and children in distress in an effort to lure unsuspecting fishermen to their demise. The older legend from which this story was born, though, gets even darker. According to Tsimshian peoples of the Pacific Northwest, the actual legend says the Kushtaka would search out lost or drowning people within their hunting grounds and do one of three things: turn them into Kushtaka, rip their ill-fated victims to pieces, or simply take away their immortal soul, preventing them from continuing the cycle of reincarnation and sentencing them to an eternity of oblivion. The nothingness of empty eternity is a fate more horrific than an early death.
This is where the skinwalkers came from in Arizona. If you don't know what we are Navajo witches who have the ability to shapeshift into animals or people. Although we often look disfigured or sound off, we shapeshift to lure alone unsuspecting innocent people to us, mimicking the voices and faces of their loved ones, or with our strange whistle. A long time ago, we were just normal Navajo people, but we wanted to achieve immortality. We were able to do this by completing a heinous act. The first step was sell our soul by completing a demonic ritual. Then, to finish, we had to unalive a close family member. Now, we roam Navajo territory in Arizona, Utah, and Colorado, preying on the innocent and protecting our lands.
Subscribe.
Beware.
Arizona. Keep the children inside at night so they don't fall to La Llorona. This Arizona myth has roots in Aztec lore and has since been made popular across the state as a way to keep children indoors after nightfall. A long time ago, a woman named Maria married a rich suitor and bore him 2 children. The husband stopped paying attention to Maria on the rare occasion he was home and noticed only the children. Soon, Maria discovered him with another woman, the real reason behind his neglect. Enraged by what she'd learned, Maria drowned her children. Regret filled her almost immediately, and she screamed out to them in grief. Her spirit was denied the luxury of heaven, sentenced to walk the earth as a restless shade in search of her children. Yet children pass by a body of water at night, while Llorona will drag them in and drown them. Some say she does the same to cheating husbands.
If I ask you for help in Oregon, do not help me. Hello, my name is Urban. I am one of the black-eyed children. We have been walking around all over the Portland area in Oregon at night since the 1980s. We are all lost and we need help, but no one will help us. We walk up to people's doors, or if they are alone in their car and not very late at night, so we can ask for a ride home. They say everyone gets an overwhelming sense of dread when we approach them, and even though we look like normal children besides our eyes, they decline. We have been told no so many times, and we tend to get angry. We demand to get into their car or house and start pulling in their doors, but they usually lock it. But it's probably a good thing that these people didn't help us. They don't know what we could do to them if they let us in.
Hello, I am the Bunny Man. In 1902, a bus carrying mental patients crashed on the way to Lurton Prison. All of the inmates were captured, except for me, Douglas Griffin. I ran away and hid in the woods around Clifton, Virginia. I had an obsession with rabbits, and would leave rabbit corpses all over the area I was hiding in. It didn't take long for me to miss civilization. I acquired a bunny costume and would go into the town and talk to little kids and find out where they lived. Later I would go to their house and unalive their parents with an axe and kidnap their kids. One day while I was running away, I was crossing over a railroad bridge when a train came from behind and hit me. I now haunt the bridge, which today is known as the Bunnyman Bridge. If you are lucky, you might see me standing under the bridge, wearing the bunny costume, holding an axe. But if we make eye contact,
Subscribe.